practice going deeper within myself, and this is again what the entire nature of the of the experience is all about. You're just unfolding yourself, right? It's a spiral. It is an onion with many layers. And as you are an onion with many layers, you are unpeeling yourself. This is what it takes for you to understand the nature of yourself. This is why we have given certain things to your mystics, to your sages, to all of them, that, again, follow this appropriately. And they followed this appropriately because this is what brought them the greatest harmony. They became harmonious by following this. They understood the roots. They understood how words are thoughts that create reality. Once you get this, once you understand that this is the way, then all that happens from here is the unfoldment of yourself, is to go through your bullshit. Right? So you go through your bullshit. You go through your mental crap. You go through your emotional shit. Right? And we're trying to do yoga for your emotions. We're trying to do yoga for your thoughts. And in doing so, it is a layer reconnecting back into the ding 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 physical body, motherfucker. Woo! You see that? Alright, yeah. And that's yoga. My God, what a concept. And again, it's the same with Qigong. It's the same thing with any other particular practice, really, that encourages the going within. If there's no practice that doesn't encourage you to go inside and clean up your shit, it's not worth your time, and throw the fucker away. Woo! Right? So this is why we do yoga. It is spinning the web, right? It's spinning the web. Well, appropriate that there's a fly in here buzzing around while we're talking. But this is what we do, right? We do yoga. It goes deeply into your emotions. It goes into your thought structure. It goes into your mentalities. It goes into your feelings. It goes into your heart. Because even when you're doing channeling, channeling itself is trying to guide you to the right words. And when you go off course, it's going to take you more into your filth. This is why you know that when you have the purest channelers on the planet Earth who are speaking the greatest truth, it's because they've been through their shit. And they've been able to clean out that shit. And now that they have cleaned out that shit, they are now becoming the most purest channels to God. Because that's all that fucking exists. Is God. Alright, now maybe we pissed off some atheists there. Oh well. Well, atheists, you can suck it. Just kidding. So we know Brad, we know what he's going to do. He's going to try and he's going to share the story about it. That's great. But we want this shared. This is why we're talking about it. Now, Brad approached us and said, hey, mushrooms, I want to learn how to be more psychic. I want to move into my third eye and all that shit. I want to do third eye stuff, and I want to do this, and I want to rap, and I want to do my third eye stuff, and because I'm such a bozo. Oh, God. All right. So he said, okay, Brad, yeah, just take us. And he took us. And so we went through the entire cobwebs of his matrix. It started with his house, right? Because your house is a manifestation of you, right? So where you live is a manifestation of you, boy, girl, whoever we're talking to. We're talking to Brad right now, so whatever. So we move through the roots of his house. We started at the main floor firstly, then we went down the basement, and we went up there a little bit more, and then again purified everything. Everything needed to be purified. Do you see how much shit this guy has around his place? Oh my god. He's like not even opening up the windows and all this. Dear God. Had to really teach him a lot of these things, alright? But anyways, we're going to go back into the main concept here. Sorry, Brad, we're not meaning to teach you. Brad is awesome. Brad is super awesome. He's amazing. We love him. We as the Nature Collective love him, and we've been working with him since the first time he's tried shrooms. Woo! And this is why you're experiencing what you're experiencing right now, because this is the nature of the shrooms. The Nature Collective, as we call ourselves. Alright? We're no more better than you. We're just a part of the Matrix, as you're a part of the Matrix itself, except for your very beingness. Because your very beingness is beyond this Matrix. Alright? That's how it works. And any of your shit that you create, any of your emotions, any of your thoughts, any of your heaviness, goes down into like indigestion. Alright? It's indigestion in your matrix. So what you want to do is that all the work that you're doing is complementary to letting all of that shit become softened. You're softening the shit. Okay? That's what you're doing. This is what yoga does. Yoga teaches you how to soften the shit inside your body. So you're doing the exact same thing with your emotions and with your thoughts and with all this other shit that you're putting on yourself because you're the creator of your own reality. There's no one else here, motherfucker. Woo. Alright, so now that we got that clear, now you are going inside yourself. You're seeing how everything is an onion. You're seeing how everything is unpeeling itself. And all you're ever going to experience in life are cycles. Alright? So it's like going through a room, into another room, opening up another door, opening up another door, opening up another door, opening up another. Here's another room. Oh, this room looks blue. Oh, this room looks purple. This room looks green. It's all the same room. Right? It's all the same room. So what you're doing is you're now being aware that you're inside the same room. Because it's just rooms inside rooms, holograms inside holograms, mirrors instead of mirrors. The reason why so many of you are confused is because you have given all of your power to the fucking ego. And that's why you're confused. Oh, I don't get it. Oh, I don't give a bit, but Brad, with my mushroom collective by nature. How come I'm going through all this? Oh, God. How come I'm going through all this stuff? How come I'm going through all this money problems and this and blah, 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 blah? Because you relate to that as feeling like that's your God, all right? Your money is your God. Your family is your God. Everything is about that. Your people's opinions are God, right? Everything else you give so much power to, and it creates stagnation in the bullshit, right? So the shit now becomes as hard as concrete inside yourself, and it stays there for days, for weeks, for months, for years, until you can't even friggin' breathe. It's like having a piece of concrete just laid out in front of you here, and you can't friggin' breathe. Well, of course you can't breathe. It's your shit that you put upon yourself. You took a crap on yourself, and you let it just harden around you, right? So now over time, as you start to work with the innerness of yourself, you tune in, you go with the breath. Okay, you do not have to take mushrooms. You do not have to go with that if you do not want to, but we encourage it. We encourage it a lot. So, just start off small if you want to go into mushrooms, if you want to go into the nature collective. If you're doing the psilocybin approach, as your scientists call it, just start off small. Start off with small doses and work your way up, okay? But in gradual periods of time. We don't want you guys shitting yourself before you start getting really deeply into these great forms of core teachings, okay? Now, again, what I'm teaching you here, what Brad is teaching you here, what we as a nature collective is teaching you here, because we're speaking as one, okay? Brad's not having to close his eyes here. He's not having to, alter his body in any particular way. We're speaking as one here, all right? Is you're going into the simple sciences, okay? And this is why we emphasize simple sciences. This is what Adronis has talked about, okay? And he's dead on accurate. The science of simplicity. This is why Brad's such a fucking good channel. Oh my God. We're not trying to do that self-promotion. This is a nature collective, all right? He's a good channel because he goes into it. He pulls out. He goes to the light, right? And there's a lot of you guys out there, a lot of you girls out there too. And you go right into the light and you pull out good stuff. Okay? But it's coming back into the original blueprint. You have to understand that you're a room within a room, a circle within a circle, right? Geometry within geometry. All of this geometry, all of the clusters, the tetrahedrons, blah, 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 right? All that you call it within your language is coming together. That's what you're trying to do. Because right now, by having all of your shit upon you, you're fragmented, okay? There's a lot of fragments all around. My husband doesn't love me. My wife doesn't love me. My kids have a problem with me. My money situation is this. My money situation is that. Everything feels so horrible. And so as everything feels so horrible, all of that fractalization happens. So what you're doing is you're just coming back to the breath because it's a simple science. It comes back into us climbing back up the ladder. When you start going down to the complexity is all the bullshit. All right? Now, if you guys favor bullshit, that's where you want to stay. And you shouldn't even be hearing us talking right now because we're not about bullshit. We're about truth. So choose right now. All right? Here's bullshit. Complexity. My wife doesn't love me. My husband doesn't love me. My kids are doing this. My situation is this. Blah, 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 blah. There's your bullshit. All right? So if you want to stay with bullshit, that's up to you. This probably isn't the kind of conversation you want to have right now. But if you want to move forward, if you want to go up past that, now you come up into truth. And what does it do? It is understanding that there is a room within a room, a room within a room, a circle within a circle. Moving yourself back into fractalization. And you're moving yourself into encouragement. So when you are telling yourself that I am bringing in love and compassion and joy, that is you bringing in yoga for your emotions, right? When you're thinking positive thoughts, when your positive thoughts are coming in right now, and you're feeling happiness, and you're hugging people, and you're kissing, and there's joy, and you're holding hands, and you're celebrating. Well, that's yoga for your fucking thoughts. Right? And now it becomes geometry. It becomes a beautiful, wonderful, amazing thing. And now in your physical body, what are you doing? You're eating healthy. You're taking care of the body. You're not putting crappy food in your body. Right? What is crappy food? Your body will tell you what crappy food is the minute it touches its tongue. Alright? As soon as you taste the crap, ugh! No! That's not for the body. You knew this at a young age. But you kept shoveling all the crap into your tongue to making it numb. And so now it's used to getting crap because it's been beaten into submission through you, right? So now all that crappy food starts coming in. It starts filling up the organs. It's getting all that garbage. All that toxicity is there, all right? So what do? You eat healthy. You start breathing. You start doing yoga. Yoga brings you into the postures. You start doing qigong. You start doing tai chi. You do these things that move back into natural postures, because this is the natural postures that are in alignment with your own emotional body and your thought body. Your emotional body, your thought body is now becoming one with the physical body, with the spirit body. This is why you're doing yoga, the true yoga, not your drink fucking beer and then do yoga shit. That's a bunch of stupidness, all right? That's retarded. So we're not going into that. But again, this is the Nature Collective speaking. We're not saying, oh my God, Brad's saying all these foul words. It's the Nature Collective, all right? We'll take heat for that. If you guys get pissed off because we say the word retarded, or we say the word stupid, or we say motherfucker to you, right? We'll take responsibility for it. Go yell at a leaf next time you pass one, all right? Oh, God, okay. This is not coming out of Brad's mouth. It's coming out of Brad's mouth, but it's our consciousness, all right? It's the Nature Collective. So again, as we talked about before we get off track here, because we're dealing with people's egos, and what we're trying to do is not telling you guys to blow up your egos, all right? But what happens when an old man who's been very greedy, very grumpy for a very, very long time is finally on his deathbed? And now, just at that moment, he's willing to change. A minute before he's about to croak and kick the fucking bucket, he's now wanting to change. What good timing, right? So, this is where we need to do a thermonuclear explosion on the motherfucker. All right, so boom! He takes mushrooms for God knows what reason. A couple minutes before the fucker dies. It's a thermonuclear explosion. What we're doing is we're shattering his ego. Because this is what's going to happen, is that as his ego shatters, he's now open to the light. He's open up to all these teachings. Right? So now that he's kicked the bucket, he's about to kick the bucket, he hasn't quite kicked the bucket yet, right? But just a couple minutes before that, he intersects. He says, okay, God, I surrender to you. I surrender to you. I let things happen. That's all Brad did as well, too. He wasn't in any threat of losing his life here through the Nature Collective. But he just said, I surrender, and whatever you guys want to teach me, you teach me. And we love people like that. Oh my God. It makes things so much easier when you just surrender to us. And we just, okay. Well, this sumbitch is ready to get some good truth happen here. All right. So, we open up, and then that person who we're talking to, the old grumpy old man, it's a thermonuclear explosion. It shatters his ego, which means that in that moment, as soon as his ego is shattered, we can go to work. All right? So it's a thermonuclear explosion. It's like an atom bomb, but it's an atom bomb for your ego. It's not for the physical earth. All right? We would never hurt the earth. But with your ego, hell yeah, we'll nuke the motherfucker. Because it's an ugly, disgusting, despicable, unnatural parasite that you have created, and only you can truly nuke it, all right? But you have surrendered yourself, which means you're now letting your power come into yourself. And you're letting this blast wave of the thermonuclear explosion happen so that debris consciousness that we call the ego is now starting to become deconstructed. And in that moment, you start to see how everything pertaining to the ego that was once hardened, that was once as heavy as clay, as solid as concrete, is now starting to become healthier, is now starting to feel what it's like to live again. And this is exactly what's happening to the old man who was on his deathbed about to croak. And then he finally said, God, I surrender to you. Just let me open up. Let me come back home to the light. And in that moment, that parasite no longer belongs there. So boom, there's a thermonuclear explosion. It's yourself giving that thermonuclear explosion. We're just tagging along for the ride. And as we say, yeah, there's the ego getting nuked. Oh yeah, take that, motherfucker. But you never really lose your ego. This is the funny thing, okay? When you basically are a baby, okay, you have to look at yourself as a seed. As a seed, you start to sprout, and you have roots going deeply into the earth, and then eventually you will sprout into some type of organism. All right? As you sprout into some type of organism, that aspect pertaining to the ego is still there in some capacity, but it has not been given the levels of attention that an adult would experience. All right? So we're shrinking the ego down. And as we shrink the ego down, what are we doing? We're doing yoga for the soul, man. All right. This is why we do the postures. This is why we do the downward dog. This is why we do the how do you call it? What is it? Front facial shit. I don't know what you call it. Right? The shavasanas and all that stuff, right? We do all that because that's important. This is what we've given. The nature has given that because all you're doing is you're mimicking nature again. You are contorting yourself to relate back into the natural geometry of how nature itself was formed upon this planet. And we are a galactic intelligence. We are the nature collective. We are mushrooms, all right? As we are mushrooms, we are aware of pretty much every particular form of life in this galaxy, which means nothing really escapes us. It's not even the galaxy. We move beyond that, and we're in other galaxies, and other galaxies, and galaxies, blah, blah, blah. We know everything, all right? And you'll realize that knowing everything doesn't really mean a hot shit.